Hello and welcome to a special edition of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the city of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics and noteworthy news delivered to you every week. I'm David Wolbrecht, Communications Program Manager here at the city, guest hosting today's brief Thanksgiving edition of the podcast. As Jim Lopez, our usual host, mentioned last week, we don't have our regular program due to this holiday week. Instead, Jim and the podcast team wanted to share a recent interview we had with our awesome emergency preparedness coordinator, Carly Pasaconis, who has some timely tips for us for the holiday. So stay tuned to hear some excellent pointers on preventing cooking fires during this year's food-focused Thanksgiving celebration.
So for our next story, we have a special guest in the studio.
Oh, we do. Hello.
Hello.
Carly Pasaconis from our Office of Emergency Management. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Carly.
Carly has a really cool video we're going to put in the show notes for everybody to see. But before we do that, Carly, we want to get to know you a little bit.
Sure.
What do you do for the city?
I am the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Important.
What do you do in that role?
Pray tell.
Yes. What I do, I work with outreach to the community so they're aware of how to be prepared for different hazards. And sometimes that means markets, sometimes that means videos, and sometimes it's actual training of skills to community members.
Awesome.
You know, there's this really interesting thing in my incessant sports metaphors where a coach once said, in big games, he doesn't expect his players to rise to the level of the moment. He expects his players to play to the level of their preparedness.
Oh.
Yes. Fall back on your training. And
Boom.
There it is. Wow.
There's some synergy there.
Hey, I like
Yes.
that. Okay.
So, Carly, what brought you to our lovely city?
Well, this job, I actually I'm originally from the East Coast, but at the time I was living in a different state.
What part of the East Coast?
Connecticut.
You know, I'm from Boston.
Oh, yes.
Did you root for the New England Patriots growing up?
Yes.
All right. Well, there's nothing
course.
but a win right there.
Okay.
Sorry.
A
Back
good
to the show.
So I came to Kirkland for this job. I had previously lived in Washington and worked with the work in wildland fire, and
wow.
I'd also done recovery work with FEMA and wanted to do more, full-scale emergency management, working more with closer to communities and not just fixing things when things already went wrong, to help prepare people and get them aware of what could go wrong and to strengthen communities in that way.
Well, you've chosen your career really well because you have a wonderful ability to connect with people.
Oh, thank you.
How
I
long
try.
You do it really well. How long have you been here? In the city and with our government?
About a year, just past a year and a half, actually.
Well, okay.
So,
Time
new-ish. Compared to
Newish.
some 10 years
Yeah.
here. So.
Do you have a favorite thing about Kirkland? No, I didn't say a favorite thing.
Well, two I would like to highlight is obviously access to the lake.
Oh, right?
It's our jewel.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, I'm a really big fan of the Cross Kirkland corridor. So I run on it or I walk my dog or just that you can get to different things.
Awesome.
And I've seen before it was officially
Oh, yeah,
opened,
yeah.
the historic
Yeah.
portion
railroad,
that
yeah.
was added. Yes, that was very cool.
Yeah. It's amazing what the Cross Kirkland Corridor, which we love our acronyms.
It's true.
Which we affectionately
Yes.
call.
The CKC.
The CKC.
But it's Cross Kirkland Corridor.
It's amazing how quickly it has become like an iconic thing in our city. It's become part of our DNA in not a long period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes Kirkland a very special place, among other things.
So, Carly, what brings you to our wonderful show this morning?
We're talking about our video that was worked on with our video team and the Fire Prevention Bureau. We had Ryan Schaefer star in this video alongside me, and we're trying to let people know what to do to be prepared, and we're talking about cooking fire prevention and response.
Oh.
Now, the title of this series, everyone, is near and dear to the heart of the This Week in Kirkland podcast team because it's titled
Let's Chat.
Let's Chat.
Yeah, that's the video series you've been working on all year. Is that right?
Yes,
We like to chat.
Yeah.
we do. We like to chat to be prepared.
So what can people do to be prepared for cooking fire safety?
Well, you can tune into the video, which you can see in the show notes. And the high-level things right now that you can do are be aware, focus on what you're cooking, and know what to do in the event things go wrong.
Okay. This is where the preparedness comes in. Okay.
And the things going wrong here, we're talking about like causing a fire or causing like something hazardous and dangerous in the kitchen. Not going wrong, which is every time that I cook, where the meal just goes wrong.
Recipe related.
Yeah, it's not recipe.
yeah, different preparedness.
Different type of preparedness.
We're talking, our previous video, we talked about injuries. And in this one, we're talking about reducing fires and what to do if you have a grease fire or one in the oven, or you can tune in to see more of the scenarios we talk about.
Awesome.
Mostly it's to fall back, like you said before, on your training, depending on what you're aware to do, whether that's use a fire extinguisher or to get out of the area and call 911.
Okay.
And then make sure people are safe, regardless of what you're doing.
Who's the firefighter in the video? He does a wonderful job.
Ryan Schaefer.
Ryan Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen. So tune in and see this great work. Carly, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Last question. Do you have like a favorite show, movie, book, podcast? Not a leading question.
Well, my recent movie that I've loved was the Barbie movie.
Yeah, it was great.
You and everyone else in the country.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
People wanted to come in costumes. People did come in costumes, and it was really fun for Halloween. We should have came in and just like sang one of the songs from the movie. I thought that would be fun.
Jim, you always go to a musical.
I go to the musical. Carly, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
And that does it for this week. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Sue Romero, Chris Peterson, Kate Ryan, and Mike Connor for their behind-the-scenes magic. We'll return to our regularly scheduled programming on November 30th. Until then, stay connected, Kirkland.